You've spent 30 or 40 years worried about running out of money. But what if the bigger risk is the running out of life while you sit in a cubicle trying to hit an arbitrary number? I see it every day. People grinding for 4 million or 5 million because they're afraid. They keep climbing past the summit they actually need. But when retirement income is structured correctly, the math often says something very different. And you might already be there. My name is Dustin Rudolph, owner and president of Legacy Ascent Wealth. And today, I'm going to show you how a couple spending $150,000 per year can retire confidently with less than most people believe is required. But first, let me paint you a picture. You're 55, healthy, energetic. Your kids are still independent. Your parents are still around. You have time and energy. Now imagine two paths. Path 1, you wait until 65. You grind for another decade. More meetings, more stress, more just a few more years. And you finally hit that number and you retire. But now you're 65. Your energy is different. Your parents may be gone. Your body doesn't quite recover the same. Travel slows down. Risk tolerance shrinks. Adventures get replaced with comfort. Now imagine path 2. You retire at 55 or 57. You take the hiking trip while your knees still cooperate. You travel midweek. You visit your kids without checking your PTO. You help coach. You say yes to life. 5 to 7 extra years in your prime. That's not just a financial decision, that's a life decision. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't delay retirement because they absolutely have to. They delay because they don't have clarity. They don't know if the math works. So they default to just a few more years. But if the income is structured correctly, if the risks are controlled, those 5 years might be the highest return you'll ever earn. Not measured in dollars, measured in time. Now let's talk about how to know whether or not that's possible. Step 1, clarity. Let's look at a couple. They're 55 years old. They earn about $150,000 per year, and they went off that mountain today. Most people assume that they need to replace that entire $150,000 forever, but retirement income changes over time. At 67, between the two of them, Social Security produces somewhere around $72,000 per year. That means the portfolio only needs to produce less than $80,000 after that point. That's a massive drop in pressure. So the real question isn't, can I produce $150,000 forever? It's, can I bridge to guaranteed income and reduce pressure later? That's clarity. You're solving for phases, not forever. Step 2 is gaining confidence. Maybe you've been told you can take 4% per year, or the popular 4% rule. But inside the Summit Ascent Pathway, we push our clients to take more because we don't treat your portfolio like one pile of money. We build purpose-based assets. Some assets are designed for income stability, some for liquidity, some for long-term growth. Each dollar has a job. When income is structured properly, when Social Security is coordinated, when taxes are navigated intelligently, and when guardrails are in place, our default planning range in early retirement is typically around 5.2 to 5.8%. Not because we're aggressive, but because we're structured. At $2.5 million, a 5.5% withdrawal produces roughly $137,000 per year. If you've built savings inside of a taxable brokerage account, those dollars are incredibly valuable early in retirement. They give you flexibility. They allow you to control taxable income, and they reduce the strain on pre-tax IRAs. And if you contributed to Roth IRAs over the years, those dollars become powerful later. They give you tax-free flexibility. They allow you to navigate brackets, and they help protect against future tax increases. This is why coordination matters, not just accumulation. Okay, so let's take a look at how this works in our income software, Income Laboratory. As you can see here, this couple has $2.5 million with $700,000 in an after-tax brokerage account. They have $1.8 million between IRAs and 401ks. So this allows them to take $151,000 per year. And let's take a look at what that looks like from a cash flow standpoint. We're relying on the portfolio for the next 11 years until age 67 when both of their Social Securities jump in. Now the strain on the portfolio is much, much less. Next, let's take a look at how these distributions from their after-tax account give us a prime opportunity for Roth conversions so that they can convert some of this IRA 401k money so they're not getting killed on taxes later on in retirement. And here's some optional flexibility. The quarter time advantage. Working quarter time is not a requirement. It's leverage. If someone earns between $30,000 or $40,000 per year doing something they enjoy, consulting, advising, passion projects, that income can drastically reduce early portfolio withdrawals, not because the plan needs saving, but because it increases margin. It reduces volatility pressure, creating psychological comfort, and it turns retirement into flexibility instead of finality. And step 3, control. Structure alone isn't enough. You need systems. First, a cash wedge. We build a 2-year reserve of spending. That way, if markets drop early, you're not forced to sell at a loss. Second, tax bracket navigation. We coordinate between taxable brokerage, pre-tax IRAs, Roth accounts, future Social Security. And the goal isn't just lower taxes this year, it's maximum after-tax wealth over your lifetime. And as we saw in the income laboratory, there are significant conversion opportunities early on in retirement. Third, our guardrails. If the portfolio drops significantly, we make small, agreed upon adjustments to discretionary spending. Not panic, not drastic cuts, measured adjustments. That's how you maintain control during volatility. And a crucial note is none of this should be done casually. Withdrawal sequencing, tax coordination, Social Security timing, guardrails, these decisions compound over decades. Doing this without coordination or without a comprehensive income plan can undo years of smart saving. Make sure you're building this in coordination with a qualified advisor who understands dynamic income planning. Because retirement is not about hitting a number. It's about designing a system. Here's the reality. The math isn't the hard part. Sticking to the structure when markets fall 20%, 30%. That's the hard part. When portfolios drop by hundreds of thousands of dollars, emotion takes over. Generic advice says, don't worry. Summit Ascent says, follow the structure. Clarity, confidence, control. If you want to know whether early retirement is truly in reach for you, I invite you to schedule a consultation. We'll evaluate your spending, your asset structure, your taxable and Roth positioning, your income sequencing, and we'll stress test it under real market conditions. You'll know exactly where you stand. If it makes sense to move forward, great. And if you want to understand how early market volatility can permanently change retirement outcomes if you aren't structured correctly, watch this video here, where I break down the math behind sequence of returns. I'm Dustin Rudolph, and this is Summit Ascent Retirement. We'll see you in the next episode.